Good morning and welcome back to another episode on the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. We're still lingering. We're still lingering from yesterday. Like I said, we probably start to consolidate. That is, if we're going to get into the liquidity that's going to be within here and possibly push into this golden pocket. I'm starting to kind of exclude this golden pocket as a possibility. We'll see if that happens. I do see us starting to lose some energy on that 4 hour time frame now, since we've been here. And I figured that stalling would at least get us up to here, but it's starting to eh, start to seem a little bit doubtful in this moment. Still holding. I added to my short position here though. I think I get stopped out somewhere in between here before getting to this golden pocket is what I think happened since I added to it, and it modifies your average price. Um, so we'll see how that goes. We got some liquidity that we built below us. You can see the little double bottom right here. Also have the bottom side of the range. So on the 4 hour time frame, you'll see we're coiling, and no actual pattern or anything in here for me to really look at. It was a triangle at first, and then it rolled over from that, and we just pushed back above the value area high here for this area in here. So just a waiting game, to be honest with you. Um, just a waiting game. Remember, we had that previous day high that was right here. It was this top right here. We continued to hold above that, like we were saying, but yeah, just looks like we're just waiting today. We might actually reverse back down. 4 hours also coming into. Yeah, it looks like we're preparing to not go too much further right now. So we're in the zone. We're in the zone to be looking for possible short position if you didn't already do this right here, which I just simply added to my position so far, and see if I get stopped out or if I get to open up a new one right here, this golden pocket. Let's push through. This is the 15 minutes. I'm going to push through on the 1 hour, kind of see what we have going on in here. So, yeah, same situation in here. We have a little bit more of that liquidity from this zone right here to get, and that is going to be this top right here. And then I added the double bottom liquidity that we have down here that markets may want to, you know, we could be getting ready to come back down here for this stuff. Let's see over here. Nothing really. And I mean, even on the daily time frame, it shows like we hit our resistance point by just tapping back here and not going above, because this was our momentum line for the RSI, and you can see how we broke down. We came back, we back tested on it, and we're not pushing above it. So even this is indicating, hey, we're at a point of resistance. We may not go any higher than what we've already done. We still have the rest of the day to decide that, but we may have gone as high as we're going to go, and then we're going to reverse back to the downside. So paying attention to that as well. Um, and of course, it's a strong resistance point here altogether, with the value area high being there. So it's a strong resistance point there. And it looks like we did exactly what I thought that we would do too, which was that point of control would come up, because the point of control was here. And I said to you yesterday, this was the third highest node in here. So to me, it looked like that point of control was going to move up. And we got that. We got that. So interesting to see that. Interesting to see that. Um, it's a wait and see right now, to be honest with you. It's really a wait and see. We are at some major resistance, and we may have topped out, and we could be looking to roll over. It's really a 50-50, to be honest. I don't see the actual strength to the upside on the daily, like not the, not showing that it's a strong trend to the upside. We got the pump, but it's not a strong trend to the upside, despite that candle, despite the candle that we got. And then right here, you can see how we cross down right in here. Still needs to do a little flipping to get numerically in order here, but again, it looks like we're to a place where we could see us start to roll this over. We did eliminate the bear div that we had, so that's our one plus in here. It's right through here. We don't have that bear div as we continue to consolidate and hold up in here. We don't have that bear div. So it's not really going to be a lot to say. I mean, Monday, I know we tend to lean towards a false move Monday, but to be honest with you, like I said yesterday, you could see before we got the pump. Now the news did help accelerate the swiftness of the move. I will say the news did help accelerate it, but there were a lot of signs in the chart that indicated that we would get a move up. So I can't give all credit to the news and act like I was blinded by it, because I came in here stating that I was long, and there were a lot of signs that price action was going to go up. Not that fast. I didn't expect for it to move that fast, obviously, but the signs were there on the move to the upside, and now I'm telling you, I'm seeing signs that we're not going to get. It doesn't look like we would get too much further, and then we're going to roll over. So we're somewhere within that vicinity. I was also willing to bank on this, but right now it's not looking like it. So I mean, I just have to be patient in here to see if we're going to finish this out and if we can get into this golden pocket. And again, I said that this was a 4-hour coiling. So right here, you can see that the 4-hour has been in this 4-hour it's just been in this inside range. Excuse me. So you got your mother bar right here. And we've just been inside coiling with inside here. So we're looking for some sort of an explosive move out. We're going to pay attention to whether or not we're just swiping liquidity. Because if we just swipe the liquidity from the upside, then our true move could be, again, to the downside, and we come back down here, whichever way it happens first. But I'm leaning towards some sort of exhaustion. That's what I'm leaning towards. So I don't really have a bias this morning. I don't have a bullish bias. I don't have a bearish bias. I don't actually know. I don't know. Other than to say we look a little exhausted on the 4-hour time frame, and the daily suggests that we've hit resistance and that we would reject, we would possibly reject and roll over. I mean, that's the only evidence that I have right now. And then of course the levels that I'm watching to see where that happens at. Whether it was this candle wick right here, or we take the liquidity from there, finish out taking the liquidity from here, and then proceed to roll over. I mean, that's where I'm at on it. I know when I looked at the EMAs here, they were really clustered together. So they were all clustered together in here, which basically just indicates, some sort of impulsive move, some sort of a rapid, move. Um, I mean, it seems almost impossible, in my opinion, that we could get up this high. It seems almost impossible that we could do that. And then I looked at the moving averages here, and again, toppy. These look toppy right here. It's just a bunch of mess. But even the Bollinger, when I looked at it, we lost strength. We could still squeeze, but it doesn't suggest that we have strength to continue um, the move higher. We would likely have to squeeze some shorts out a little bit more to go higher, but uh, otherwise, it looks faint. It looks faint. So just take a look at look back at USDT dominance for a sec. All right, because like I said, Bitcoin's daily, it doesn't suggest that the trend is strong to the upside, just like USDT dominance doesn't suggest that the trend is strong to the downside. And I mean, right now we're within support. Only if we break below here, then I'd be looking for us to come back down towards here. And at some point, I still lean towards the break below this trend line here. We haven't got that yet, but it is attempting to. I mean, it's within support right now. It's within support as far as its lower boundary go, which is 7.543% right there. So I mean, it is still within the bounds of its support level. I mean, just inverse the Bitcoin basically. It doesn't look like it would be a any strong selling pressure is happening in here. In fact, as you see, it starts to decline like that, like that. You start to rise. So you got this dark red for a moment here where the selling pressure came back in, and it's still dark red, but it still isn't. It doesn't suggest that it's strongly moving to the downside. And I really won't know. I can look at divergence on it. That's for sure. Don't have any right now. I don't have any divergence there. So I say we're topping. I mean, personally, that's my thought. Let me push back. Take a look at VIX, VIX right now. It's just a choppy sideways mess. I'm missing some data. I'm really missing some data because I know we was at VWAP yesterday. It must be on a different screen. Anyway, it's not going to help us now anyway. Yeah, it's not going to be any helpful. And yeah, when I looked at the QTD as well, it didn't suggest anything other than you can see how we consistently getting these red sell signals in here, and that's because it's staying close to the top, and it's just chopping the top of the cloud. It's not actually giving follow through to the downside. It did one time in here, and that was through here to tap the lower end of the cloud. That gave us that buy signal in here, but it's staying close to the top side of the dynamic cloud, and the cloud isn't actually doing anything right now. It's inching up very slowly and flattening out, going sideways, so it's not showing any momentum in either side. It's flat and just with the consistent sales signals right now, and then that's the only reason why those are popping up. And that would be just like over here, how we kept getting these buy signals in here, but you never really see anything that suggests down until that one moment right here, as the cloud continued to progress down to bring price up. So it could, it's not really giving me a lot of information to work with right now. And I'll just show it to you. Like over here, I could tell we were going to go up because it does this right here when it's looking to accept price back above the cloud. And then we push out and onwards. And I know not to bother with it too much, trying to bank the short or anything like that. It's not really rising in here at the moment. It's you got these little moves in here, and then it flatlines. So it's not doing anything progressive to suggest that that it couldn't go up a little bit higher, because it can. It can, but we're not going to get too much further. That's just how I see it. I really don't have anything else to say on it right now, to be honest. Would I advise taking a short in here? You can. You can. I mean, you could take a short anywhere, and stop loss above that previous day high, assuming that we're not going to come back up above the yesterday's high. And that yesterday's high was the top. That would be your short. I don't know how much. I mean, I wouldn't know your situation. Let's just say you were doing it right now from there, and assuming price isn't coming back up there, it's almost like a 1% move. And I know that this liquidity down here will be up for grabs. It's a good risk to reward. You would still sacrifice a lot if it turned back against you with a 0.89%. It just depends on how much money you're putting into it and how much leverage you're using for it. Let's say if you were entering in here now under the assumption again that this is the high and we're not going to come back above the previous day high. And if you get stopped out, I don't know, maybe you want to sit it out, or maybe you want to give it the one last chance to see how price reacts if it does decide to come in a bit higher in here. But I could probably delete this one right here, because we did take the liquidity from this one. So I'm going to delete that one. This is the last bit of liquidity that's left in here now is that, and then, what's down below. When I first got up this morning, I was leaning more towards this low being taken out before this top. And now I'm just back to, I really don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I added to the short position that I was in, which dropped me down to being within this area right here to be stopped out somewhere within here. So I'm up above this point right here just a little bit. So I'm comfortable. Personally, I'm comfortable. Let me see. I know that we did like a full flip. I believe we did a full flip in here on the EMAs, which doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. It's a full flip all the way back down these things. But we did do, with the exception of the 200, still below the 4 right here. Mm. I really wish I had something positive to say this morning, and I don't have anything positive. So, with that said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here this morning just because I don't see anything. I don't see anything worthy of me saying right now. 4 hour again to me, it looks like it's a bit toppy, and that price action wouldn't get too far away. The idea from yesterday is still going to remain the idea, which is the potential to get to the golden pocket. Now, 4 hour doesn't exactly give me cause to believe that we have the strength to get there. But if we did, that would be a big short for me. I added to my short position, so I'm just slightly below that. That means I would get stopped out, and then I would reconsider my entry if price were to come to here. But right now, like I said, the 4 hour, in my opinion, it looks a bit exhausted. It does not look like we're going to get too far. We got like an hour 34 minutes left on this 4 hour candle. This is from a 4 hour range right here, where we've just been coiling within one nice little mother bar there with a couple of wicks to the upside. At best, if we don't get to this golden pocket, then we swipe the liquidity right here, and then we start to look to roll over. Or we're under the assumption that this is the high here, and we don't come above that previous day high. I don't really see any strength in the daily time frame, but that doesn't mean that can't change. Again, I don't see strength in the daily time frame. And this suggests that we've hit some resistance, and that we don't break back above the trend line, which was our momentum line that gave us the once we broke below that, and we're just back tested on that, and then we roll over and we continue. I move to the downside to come back in here and possibly come down here towards the lower part of our trend line here, where the golden pocket, the value area low, and standard deviation 1 are all located at right here for a potential bounce from there. So, I mean, these are the points that I'll be looking at to the downside. Again, it's going to be where you have the golden pocket at, which is just simply drawn from that low to that high there, and gives you the value area low again. Then you have standard deviation 2, and here where you have some nice liquidity here. So I wouldn't exactly look for the 786 to hold. I would look for the liquidity here to be taken. Then our last fail zone is going to be down here, and possibly putting in a double bottom. So these are the 3 areas that I would be looking at on price action. There's really nothing in here to add to this whatsoever. A nice move yesterday. And we may not, again, may not get to this golden pocket. We may not get to that. I don't see anything in here that makes me um, feel otherwise. I just don't see anything in here that makes me feel otherwise. I can't get any reading off of that. No, I can't. I can't get any reading off of that. And this just suggests that we're still sideways, and that, I mean, that's it. It doesn't suggest that. It doesn't actually imply that we're going to come down um, this low. Nothing. This doesn't suggest any of that. You know, you can see how flat we are in here. So even coming down into here, that was our bounce. Obviously, that was our bounce. Over here, it would have been bull divs. Had we come in a little bit lower here. So we're not even penetrating through that prior peak right there on momentum. We're not doing that. So you can see how we held in here above that. The next thing I would be doing, if you momentum trade, because I'm a big momentum trader, the next it'll be me moving this one from here to this point right here, and then the RSI would come down and it'll land right below, land right next to this one right here, and that'll be my entry point again. If it lines up with price action, that'll be my entry point once again. So, and then maybe the point of control will flip back down here again. You know, like I said yesterday, it looked like it was more than likely come up here, since we had such a node was sticking out over here. We had a high volume node sticking out over here, and I said it's probably going to move up here. And I mean, it's here now. It's here. It's holding. This. It's boring. It's boring. Let's take a look at gold. It's boring. I'm about to lose my mind right now. All right, so gold over here didn't quite come into our trend line down here. I am no longer. I was in a gold long. You know that I was in a gold long when we got the bounce from this candle right here. You can't tell we bounced from it now, and I got stopped out at break even. I got stopped out. Yeah, I think I did. I think I did set it at break even. I'm trying to make sure I didn't move it up a little bit. I probably didn't. I just set it for where I entered at. So no loss on gold. And I didn't look back at it anymore. I didn't realize that gold had actually tumbled over as much as it did until today. I heard somebody mention it. I was watching some news and they were talking about it, and I was like, gold tumbling, but I didn't pay attention to it because I'd already gotten stopped out, and I really wasn't even caring about gold anymore. But there's a nice little recovery on it there, but didn't actually come down here and tap this trend line right here, which is something I would have been looking for. It did tap on like the 120. I believe that's where we're at, because when I took the long off of this one right here, off this 26 right here, because we had not traded below this 26. You can see the 26 down all the way down to here, that blue line. We had not traded below it, so I initially took a long off of that, and it was doing good for a second. We finally got a cross. We now have a cross between our 10 and our 5 and our 10, which we had not had in here before. I don't know if we had any prior crosses in here either. Let me just check that to see. Oh, this set doesn't show me that. Why doesn't this set show me that? Oh, that's because this is not the actual one. That's why. Okay. So that's why it doesn't show me that. I had to put the actual EMA ribbon. It's a different. This is a multi one, so I don't get it. But this is the first cross I've seen between the 5 and the 10, which suggest more downside for it if that holds true. I don't see it cross anywhere else. I can't really tell. But if we can come down a little bit more into tap into here, and I might be intrigued. But otherwise, gold looks jeez. I mean that's the 60. Behavior has changed on gold. So and when was the last time it tapped into that? 2023. Yeah, behavior has definitely changed on gold. It had not come back and tapped into standard one before, and definitely not standard two. So it might just be able to continue rolling on over here, rolling on over. I did say I thought that was the high back then, but I figured we can get a little bounce in here, and that would have been nice. It is, oof, entire market just really just sucks. Really just sucks. But that, yeah, it's not no strong sell-off. That's why it's neutral. It's not a strong sell-off. Momentum broken. This could go sideways for a little while longer, but this does actually 4 hour does suggest that it will get more of a push to the upside. Lingering bearish though. It's lingering bearish, but more of a it could go up a little bit more. We'll see how long it wants to go sideways in here. But this typically indicates some sort of a upside move, just like all of this over here indicates down. I'm not interested in gold right now. What is down here? Yeah, most certainly not. Not right now. It comes down to this trend line, then I get interested in buying it. Again, I'd be interested in trying it again down here. That was a little scalp long that I did get, and it came back to the momentum line that it broke down from and rejected from there. I remember looking at this part on screen where we saw the rejection from there. So yeah, if gold continues down and taps into here, I get interested in going long. That means I have to drop that. I'm interested in getting long at this one right here, which is the same one that I showed you from the weekly time frame. That's where my interest comes in at. It's this trend line right here. It's the one, okay, back from 2024 until late 2025. Yep. So we tap into here, then I'm interested in taking a long on gold. It will have fallen far enough to get some sort of a recovery bounce that'll be worth taking a chance on it. But where it is right now, it's really in the middle of nowhere for me. Even though it got a nice little reaction, it's really in the middle of nowhere for me, and it looks more bearish through here. So again, here I'm interested. If it looks like it makes sense, I'm interested right in here. Let's see, silver. Okay, I didn't even realize that this got tapped. I know the last time I talked about it, I said this momentum line right here, though, when I dropped something on it. So I didn't realize that it got tapped because I hadn't even looked at it. And it's the same thing that I just said for gold. If gold comes into that trend line, I get interested in it. But gold hasn't come into that trend line yet, so I'm not interested in touching it right now. And this one for silver was, I'm surprised. I did not pay any attention to it. Why does this look off? This looks off. Okay, so I would have been embarrassed if I'd have looked over here at it and we just fallen through it. But this was per accident because yeah, it was set up on here for in case it came to this trend line right here, and it was set up from back over here, whatever day that was, 18th. So I mean, silver, nice little reaction back into resistance though. So the same would be for silver at this point. I don't think it does anything different than gold does. So I don't think it does. So if silver loses this trend line right here, I would start to look down here at this one. I mean, these are just your places to take risk, and got one more in here on silver, and it's all the way down here. This was the actual measure move for the bear flag that did not play out initially on silver when I first posted back over in here on this bear flag right here when I had posted on that. And then we came up and we invalidated, in my opinion, we invalidated it and got a bigger bear flag instead. But if that's that, doesn't hold, then I would start to look down here at this one. This is a little closer to, what's that endpoint? 51.86. A little closer to that endpoint right there for silver, but it's at resistance now. This more than likely flips into resistance and might reverse back down from here. Yeah, and see, the last time we looked at this, this didn't fully play out all the way, and then I noticed that we came back below the I marked it out as a daily, as you can see over here, so it's from a daily level of resistance because I turned off the it's a line bias is what it is. So when you do it like this, then you can see it clean, a lot clearer as to what was happening in here with this pattern in here, because I couldn't find any other way to draw it, because when I looked at it, it was choppy as crap. So I minimized it to just a line chart, and everything matched so perfectly. I was like, yeah, this is a solid formation in here. And we came back and back tested this, and you see what we back tested and rejected. And I was saying to you that this is the measure move right here. it brings it all the way back down to the around about where the 786. I'm just gonna use that. I mean, it's lower than that, but this is also where the larger channel lies for copper. So that's something to be hopeful for. And it looked like it already came in and back tested this right here as well. It looks like it did. I can't tell you because I got to put it back on the daily time frame and pull it out some. Or maybe I can just extend it. Just extend it. How about that? Nah, it didn't tap it. Okay. But anyway, so this is a bearish formation. Of course, it's a ascending broadening formation that tends to break to the downside. This is the measured move for the ascending broadening formation here, which if you notice USDT dominance, this is what I'm looking to happen on USDT dominance. It's this same thing right here because this pattern tends to break to the downside. I don't see it not break to the downside. It's up Palantir. You happy Palantir, apparently, to not break to the downside, but it tends to break down. And then you have the larger channel in here, which is really great confluence in my opinion, which is the orange, the red, the yellow, the yellow here is the larger channel that copper has been in. So I can't pull it in any more than that, but you can see the larger channel in here for copper. You see what we actually tapped up there as well. So this is what I'd be looking for copper to do. And it's a long way, I know it. And then you got that VWAP down here. It's a long way for it to drop. But I didn't see any other reasoning for it. Nothing personally. So this is all still the same. I haven't really paid attention to platinum. I honestly, okay, I actually hadn't paid attention to platinum at all. It looked like platinum did actually tap into the trend line down here. It had zero respect for this thing right here. No respect for this right here. I guess it wasn't anything legitimate. That one it did. But I mean, it hit it and bounced. I really don't pay attention to it. I just draw these little trend lines in here, honey. The most simple analysis you can do. It's the most simplest crap you can do, but it works. It works. It dang sure works. So I mean, the heck is bouncing. I haven't done anything for platinum whatsoever, so I can't give you anything other than it came into that trend line and got that little bounce. Whoop de doo. I have some sort of larger formation through here though. This is done. So actually this right here, I'm gonna take this one. Just in case it decides it wants to continue slipping down a little bit more, reject from this zone right here and come down a little bit more. Can feast our eyes on something else. But I don't tell you what, let me just kind of see. Oh yeah. Do that. Yeah, that's actually this flow right here. the start of this trend right here. I actually like platinum for a nice break to the upside. I'd be more enticed if it does come down and break below that line there, that momentum line there, since that low is the start of this move to the upside right here, where it's hovering at. So if it breaks below that and then reclaims back above, I think platinum breaks out and comes up higher. So I like platinum chart, and I'm gonna leave it like so, because if it does that, then it's bound to come back and tap into this trend line right here, this lower one right here. So break through this one and then tap onto this right here, as it breaks below here and reclaims back above, because that's a nice bull div. I mean, you can see it through here too, but it's not actually the start of the trend to the upside. I tend to lean towards wherever starts the trend momentum on the RSI. So that's a good. I like this. I like this chart. Hopefully, it's not prepared to do it already. I would actually consider this. I can't from where it is, but I will if it comes back down and it taps into here. I actually like that a lot. For a long, I actually like that a lot. That's huge. So don't pay that any attention. Really don't pay that any attention. I wouldn't take a trade unless I saw the reaction anyway. But I like that. Coming back into here and then bouncing away from here, and then I think it'll actually break out of here. I'd start with that point right there though. That looks at least get it down to about a 4. I like the idea of that for platinum. It was pretty decent. Let me see. Yeah, and that's flat. That's rather flat. Got bull dips on it already. According to this, from here and there, it's a bull div. Looks pretty decent. Let me try one more thing in here and just see what the VWAP looks like from here. It's a little bit lower. And that seems like the move to me. I mean, I like that. Platinum might be ready to do something. I would say it for the other ones, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it here. I still lean on that for copper, so can't. Let me see if I had anything in here for copper. Anchor VWAP. Where are you at? It's in here somewhere apparently, and I don't see it. Oh, that was all the way down here. That's right. My bad. Yeah, that was all the way down there. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not bullish on copper at the moment. It's this low. It's this low. And that's this low again. On the start of this trip up. So that gave the bounce there. As you can see, it dropped below it here and then it swooped back up, which is what I'd be looking for on platinum. is exactly what I just said happened right here, where it breaks below it, but then it comes back up above. So this might actually, like I said, may come in lower. That means I have to focus on this one right here, which is pretty close to it. I don't know why it reads up under this red candle. I just plot it there. It reads under that red candle. And you see exactly where it tapped to? I'll be dang. I'll be dang. How about that? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I would still rather see it come. I still rather it kind of changed my narrative, my idea on it, but I can't take it. I wouldn't take it now, but I mean, too late. I mean, but we did talk about this already, so if anybody caught that, that's cool. Means I wouldn't have anything here. Let me just see one more. See, I'm gonna have to hide the indicator for a second because it's making it hard for me to see. Make sure that I couldn't have. I don't think I was able to drop this lower than that. I'm gonna extend it to the right just to make sure. I meant to the left just to make sure. It looks like I could have. I hate to move it and just make it. No, it looked like I cut through something. So, I mean, I guess if. Let me just see what that's doing. If I could look to this right here. Yeah, and I can. So I really like that better. Right here. If it failed, that's again, that's what I would look for. I would look for this right here to hold. So I would be looking to long this right here. And then we would have to do some chopping in here for that though. Just looking at the RSI, we have to really do some chopping to get down that low, and from what I can see. So I mean that could have very well been your low, and you can get through this resistance here for more of a push up, maybe back into where we got the breakdown from and see a rejection from there, and then come back down into here and then look for another bounce from this section right here for silver. Broke that one. And this one. See what this starts at right here. I don't know why it doesn't start from here. Because that, I don't know why it doesn't start from there. And just trying to see. So that momentum is rising right into this level right here. This would be out of the question, obviously, since that is rising. It does fit with this right here. I'm still interested if we tap right there because we actually haven't. I'd be looking for gold to yeah. If gold comes back into here, I'm interested. At that point, I think that's where gold will actually flip back up through here. I don't see a reason to, let's see. Let me just look back at how it worked before. So this was our momentum low, which probably, I mean, sometimes it's not exact. It was this one. Move that for a sec. So it was that one. Stay above it. Stay above it. And then we finally broke below it right here with the bear flag, breakdown. Then I was looking at this momentum line here, which yeah, gold has time. Whoops, it has time. Just based on momentum, it has time. I don't know if I want to go with something like this. It probably would be closer to tapping into this one right here than any of the other ones. So if it dropped down a little bit more, I think that was the lowest point, maybe. If it dropped down a little bit more into here, I would actually buy. So it either momentum breaks back above the lows through here, either breaks back up through here, or momentum drops into here. Momentum drops into here, it's automatically buy, in my opinion. It's overcooked a bit through here, but it could bear flag. I mean bear div until momentum. It could bear div, get bearish momentum through here. So either it comes back up here or it drops into this one. If it drops into this, it's immediately go long for me, which means price action actually comes back into that trend line there. Stop loss below VWAP. Back test the breakdown. Something like that. Which is pretty decent. That's 24 hour. Yeah, pretty decent. I'll put this back on the 4 hour. And you have to ignore these from the He's already putting in bear divs, so it's going to break back down. You see the bear div cross here, RSI rising up. I'll wait for it to come down and actually tap into that trend line like it's supposed to. Not like it's supposed to. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, that's the long point. Let me go back to boring Bitcoin. Still just chopping in here, building up liquidity overhead. in this area right here. Yeah, I mean, really, that's it. Either we topped right there yesterday, waiting on market to open for sure before we get any sort of price action in here for Bitcoin. And if that's not the top, then I look for this liquidity here, this last bit of liquidity right here to be taken. That puts us above the previous day high though. Anytime we're trading above the previous day high, we're changing structure. So golden pocket. Oh, I just want to say something because I've seen this on a couple of channels. I'm a big supporter of all crypto content creators. I am. I show up for a lot of different streams, new streamers, old streamers, blah 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 blah. And there's this narrative around gaps, and I see a lot of saltiness from some channels. I see a lot of saltiness from some channels about gaps, and I think that it's a great educational point, to be honest with you, not something to um, really shun, but the gaps are getting shunned. And the reality is that 70 to 90% of gaps get filled, and it's really about what type of gap it is that determines how fast that gap gets filled and the likelihood. So not all gaps are created even, but to ignore them, it's really stupid. It's really stupid. Let me just say it's really stupid. The three gaps that I like the most is a common gap, a breakaway gap, and an exhaustion gap, and all three are different. If it's a common gap, then it's more likely to get filled immediately. If it's a exhaustion gap, then it's less likely to get filled because exhaustion gaps happen at tops and bottoms. So they're reversal points. And if it's a breakaway gap, it will not as quickly as a common gap get filled, but it does tend to happen on some sort of a back test because a breakaway gap, is like a breakaway from, let's say, a pattern or something like that, or breaking away from some major resistance. Typically, I like to associate them with some sort of a pattern or something like that, but to just ignore them, it sounds stupid, but understanding what type of gaps get filled immediately and which ones don't, now that's something to talk about. Like this right here, I could associate this right here with like an exhaustion gap in here. So no, you're not coming back to this anytime soon. It's here, and I expect for it to get filled at some point. Sure, I do. It's Bitcoin, but or you can actually more, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't actually consider it to be a breakaway gap because it didn't break away from the pattern point in here. It did it just before it, so it broke away right here. But I would consider it to be an exhaustion gap. Usually, you see it's a bit larger in size away from it, but 70 to 90% of gaps do get filled. So I just think it's stupid to make it an argument. It's a statistical fact. Statistical fact. And if you do any sort of analysis, then you would take that into account. It's just, it just makes sense to take it into account. Instead of getting pissed about somebody mentioning the gap, it is what it is. I hate these boxes. I know there's supposed to be a way to actually turn them off without doing that. But we shall see. It's starting to look like a bigger inverse. I just don't see it happening. It just looks exhausted on the 4-hour. Back about 40. I think this one right here, this was from, let me drop that. This was from over the weekend, I think, and I was looking at this potential rising, and this has just been extending out since. No, actually, it reads from Thursday. I didn't label it out, so I don't know. Um, it's Thursday the 19th. I was looking at the range in here, and I think I may have taken it from, let me see if I took it, probably took it from a 1 hour. Nope, I did not take this. I don't think I took this from here. That's the only range I see. There was this range right here, but it's not drawing over that. I can't remember what range I took this from, what time frame, because I didn't mark it out. But it's just extending outwards. So anyway, it's not this stuff over here. Yeah, so that's it. I look for some sort of a reversal to take place between here. That's all I'm sitting here waiting on. Somewhere between where that top is right there already, and possibly the golden pocket, and then I would look for most certainly this liquidity down below here will get taken. We um, drop below that VWAP right there this time. We've been holding up on it pretty decently. I didn't see one in here to really drop. It was cutting through it, so it was just consolidating because of how it was cutting through. So I deleted this one from the equation because it was cutting through it. And then I look for this liquidity down here to be taken. Again, looking to the value area low and the golden pocket possibly for a bounce zone for Bitcoin. So you're either shorting now from where it is, stop loss above previous day high, assuming that's the top. If market opens and it starts to accelerate to the upside, 4 hour, it doesn't give me vibes that it has the strength to do way more than this. It just doesn't, unless we just start to consolidate and cool off again. That would be it. But otherwise, we're not getting too much further in here. And I look for a breakdown. That's really all I got to say today, because it's not going to do anything right now. It's not going to do anything right now. Ethereum, just looking back at ETH, and like this is one of the major resistance points for ETH. The other day we did notice that on the daily time frame that it was trading above this little consolidation range in here. It's much closer to taking out the liquidity from the top side of the mother bar right here. But this zone right here is some major resistance, just like in the past where we talked about it, and we talked about how, you know, it held as resistance in there and it held as support in here. I was saying to myself this morning, girl, you a G if you called that bottom. But it still got VWAP to contend with. So if price starts to roll over, you still got VWAP to look at. Well, we bounced off of VWAP a few times through here. So just be aware of that. But one of the biggest resistance points is where the 786 is located at from that move down. So where the 786 is located at. It's still one of the most major resistance points for Ethereum. I did like this when I looked at it this morning. It has not broken momentum to the downside on the daily time frame, so it is performing way better than Bitcoin. It has not done that. The double VWAP hold, so no 786 tap for it because it's holding the double VWAP in here. We had talked about this one VWAP right here with the ascending trend line through here. So you can see how Ethereum actually got this break above before reclaiming back inside the range in here. And now we've swiped the low down here. I have not adjusted this. It stayed exactly how it is with that regard. But the double VWAP, one's from the daily and one's from the weekly. So if you're looking at your daily time frame, it's drawn off of it's plotted off of this very low right here. So that's this one right here. It's plotted off the very low right here. And then the one for the weekly is plotted off of this mother bar right here. And it gives us that. And then this is just the, we put in this little range in here. So I've just been using, this was the last one, because this was the last place that we had consolidated before the consolidation we have now, just like Bitcoin, price action basically, where you have your mother bar right here. Well, actually, this isn't the mother bar. Let me take that back. This is actually our mother bar. That's actually our mother bar. That's our low. So you could go with what's on the inside right here. You could go with that if you so choose to, but this is actually the mother bar right here. So if we come up, if we swipe this liquidity, we fail. Well, guess what? We're likely going to come down here and take out that liquidity. So it's the same thing as Bitcoin. Possibly one extra push in here. I didn't really, yeah. It looks like we're entering some sort of a stage of exhaustion. We likely would not come back up as high as this. We just wouldn't do it, which means we'd fail. If we did push it, if momentum did continue any higher, we would fail below 70. This is 80 right here. So we would fail below 70. Which is just up a little bit more, which would be like swiping this liquidity above this mother bar, falling over, and then taking the liquidity from the low down here. You know, coming back into your point of control or your value area low. But it won't come back up this high again. It's not gonna do that. And this cloud cover right here, that's a cloud cover above it, just like right here. That's a cloud cover. You got one right here. Well, this one right here did pretty good. That did like it was supposed to do, but you got one right here. So it's a cloud cover right here, suggesting exhaustion and rollover. That's what it implies. And then it'll roll over. I was trying to give this red line right here a little bit of time to cross up here though. I prefer to see something like that first. So we just stall out until that comes above and then it rolls over. But like I said, it's near a point of exhaustion. At best, it takes the liquidity from here. And make sure that's not thing. It takes the liquidity from here and then it drops down into here somewhere. It does something like that. It's my thought. Whether or not it happens like that is something else, but that's the thought that I have for it, just based on what it looks like right there. It's not really it's not a bear div except for this point right here, because we're not above that. But we'll find out once market opens. I think that what I stated there is what's going to happen. Yeah. All right, appreciate you. I love you, and thank you for joining me today. And hopefully, market opens. And you know what? I don't mind the correction. To be honest with you, I don't mind seeing the correction follow through from here at this point and come back down. Um, mm, but that's the playbook. That's the playbook. What did I say the mother bar was over here? Let me make sure I gave that to you right. Yep, that's correct. Tier for it's different from Ethereum. So Bitcoin's is on point with this range right here. And that would be taken, like I said, the rest of the little liquidity that's right here is up to that point right there. If I look at on my other time frame, so swoop and drop, swoop and drop is what I'll be looking for today. That's what I'm looking for today. Swoop and drop. Unless that was the high. So I will see you guys in the morning. Thank you. Love you.